Been a while since I've done a game room update. I think the last one was on my main channel, and not a ton has changed, but enough has changed where an update is more or less warranted. So I figured, hey, might as well quickly just go through my game collection. This isn't going to be super in-depth. If anyone would like to see any particular part of this more in-depth, please let me know, and I will make a separate video on it. But start off over here. So this is my Intellivision and Atari shelf mostly. This is all like my old shit. So these are all my Intellivision games. They're all complete in box because it's basically just as easy to find a complete in box Intellivision game as it is to find a loose Atari one. And I know you're wondering, yes, I do have an Intellivision Amico game, a physical one, because this is just really fucking funny, the idea of having a physical game for a console that will likely never exist. So down here, I call this the late 70s, early 80s shelf. So we've got a Mr. Challenger up there, which is a really funny, it looks like a calculator, but that is a video game console. That is to basically play Wheel of Fortune on the go. And a bunch of loose Atari 2600 and 7800 games. A couple complete in box ones as well. This Real Sports Baseball, I bought brand new in box, and I recorded an unboxing for it, and the footage didn't come out. So that's fantastic. Under that, we have the Game Boy display that I recently 3D printed. I realized I didn't really show it off in any super capacity, but yeah, it works pretty good. And then over here I have just a couple of my loose DS games in Game Boy style housings. I didn't make these, I can't take credit. Someone on, I think Thingiverse made them. But yeah, they're very useful. I think I'm going to print out some labels for those. Next to those, I have a couple books and my 3D printer. This is the Bamboo Lab A1. This was recommended to me by JP760 Creations, who is an absolute genius and knows his shit when it comes to 3D printing. And man, he knows good 3D printers, because I'm really happy with this thing. I've had it for about a year so far, and I use it a lot. So next to that, this is my little retro shelf. So I've got a 7800 plus. I've got a Intellivision. This is the Sears Telegames. I've got a random VMU, because why not? And then down here, I have my childhood NES. I don't know if you can see that. With my Rob the Robot, which I did not have as a child. I got that actually a year ago today from when I'm recording this. Got a Zapper. Got my NES top loader. Got a Sega Genesis Model 2 and a Virtual Boy, along with the Virtual Boy controller. And an ocarina, just for good measure. Anyone taking a submarine voyage. And I have this hot pink CRT. Fun fact, this is the exact same television as the one that I used in that video of playing games on a CRT in 2019. The only difference is that I took it apart and spray painted it hot pink. That's it. And I sticker bombed it, because why not? Didn't really have much of a personality before, and it probably has too much of a personality now. Got my fridge over here, nothing super crazy to talk about, just a Frigidaire with a Red Bull on top. And then over here we have my Guitar Hero arcade machine that I made a video about, which I'll put up in the card. People have asked if I'd be interested in selling this one or selling these. The answer is probably not, maybe at some point in the future. If I decide to want to build like a full-scale one, maybe I'll let this one go. But I also really, I don't have a ton of time to, this was a time sink. I know that video makes it look like it was done in like a day, but that was like a multiple week project. So I don't know, I'll probably hold on to this for a little bit longer. It does work. It does get use at parties and get-togethers. Got the PS2 kiosk, made a video about that. And then we have Cammy, my Dynamo HS1 Street Fighter II Championship Edition arcade machine, which, as you can tell, has been modded with a Pixelcade. This was sent very kindly by the people over at Pixelcade, and it looks phenomenal. This is really cool. So basically, the way this works is you select a game on the monitor, like say I want to play Sonic 06 for whatever reason, and then the monitor, the top marquee rather, updates in real time, and and do Street Fighter, boom, Street Fighter, Smash Brothers, the GameCube logo. Isn't that cool? Like, it just, no matter what you've got on your display, it updates in real time. It is very, very cool. And you can even make custom ones. For example, I wanted 3D Pinball Space Cadet on here, so I made a pinball marquee. So yeah, I do recommend checking out Pixelcade if you have a need, because this is genuinely quite cool. Pay no mind to the artifacting that's going on here. That's a refresh rate difference thing. It doesn't look like that in real life. Got the Pong machine over here. This hasn't seen as much action recently because it likes to break itself. They gave it the world's shortest power cable, which is actually under this rug right here. And as a result, whenever it gets bumped like an inch, the monitor gets unplugged. So I have to unscrew the entire top, take it off, and then do a whole song and dance and reattach everything. It's a pain in the ass. I really wish Arcade 1-Up built it a little differently. But yeah, when it does work, I do play it a lot. I like Tempest, as you can see by those high scores pretty much being all my initials. I do still have the Class of 81 machine, however, it is no longer running the proprietary Arcade 1-Up front end. It is now running a Raspberry Pi with RetroPie on it, so I can play pirated Nintendo ROMs on it if I want, which is cool, because obviously that would never exist with Arcade 1-Up. They would never get a Nintendo license. I do still have the Ridge Racer machine, and as you can tell, it is basically a dedicated Crazy Taxi machine at this point, and I'm very excited for the new one. I hope someone can make it run in a 4:3 aspect ratio, because I will install it on here. This is running a gaming PC, because I don't think Raspberry Pis can play Crazy Taxi as well as a gaming PC can. This one's new-ish. I got it about 2 years ago, but I made my original tour video longer ago than that. This is the Golden Tee 3D and Midway Arcade Classic 1-Up XL Supreme, whatever the fuck they call it. And basically, as the name implies, it has a good amount of Midway games as well as interactive technology games like Golden Tee, World Class Bowling, Shuffle Shot, etc. This is a really cool cab. I've always been a huge Golden Tee guy. I've always wanted a trackball cab. I do wish it was easier to soft mod. I don't think there is a soft mod for this out yet, because I would love to put like Centipede and shit on this, but for right now, I'm more than happy keeping it stock if it means that I can play Golden Tee against my friends whenever they come over. And of course, I still have the PS4 kiosk. I do have a new front end for it that makes it look more like the actual kiosk itself. And yeah, it's still rocking good, still looking good, still performing shockingly well for having a base launch PS4 inside of it. So up here we have a bunch of 3D printed controller mounts that I made on that Bamboo A1 that I was showing off earlier. And I like these because it's useful to just walk up and grab a controller that's already paired to whatever console I want to play it on. So this is my couch. It's just a normal ass futon. And then this is a peek behind the curtain. When you see the videos on this channel with the blue background, this is literally the setup for it. It's nothing too crazy. It's certainly nothing luxurious. It is literally a blue beach towel draped over my coffee table with a tripod pointed directly towards it. And it is a blue tripod because I color code things because my ADHD is so fucking bad that I would forget which one pairs correctly with which. So on the very top over here, I have a couple 3D printed candy machines. One of them has M&Ms and the other one has Pez. If you're curious why I went with Pez for this one, bit of Connecticut pride. For those that don't know, these are manufactured less than an hour away from my house. Yes, you heard that right. The United States Pez factory is located in Connecticut. We finally did something right. Unless you don't like Pez, in which case, I'll go fuck myself. But yeah, my collection of NES games underneath. One of my bigger collections, and especially in terms of like retro titles. I've been collecting for this console literally since I was a kid. It was my very first video game console. Under that, we have my much smaller Super Nintendo N64, and going all the way down my Sega Genesis collection. I like to collect for those as well, but when I see an NES game that I don't own out in the wild and it doesn't cost a fortune, I always pick it up. Then we have the tower of PlayStation 1 and Dreamcast games. Nothing too crazy here. It's literally just a CD-ROM tower that I repurposed to hold PlayStation games because they are literally in jewel cases. Next to that, we have my little autograph wall. So I have a Commando up here, autographed by Scott the Woz. I have the back of my Nintendo Switch, autographed by James Rolfe. And I have this lovely Sonic & Knuckles piece autographed by Brian Penry. For those that don't know, Brian Penry literally wrote the Sonic design style guide. So if it weren't for him, who knows what the fuck Sonic would look like nowadays. So that's very, very cool. Next to those, on both sides of the TV, I have these little advertisement thingies for various Switch and Nintendo 3DS games. People have asked where I got these. Long story short, I used to work at Best Buy, and these were in little acrylic holders, and we were instructed to throw them out. I couldn't bring myself to throw these out, so I decided to take them home and put them in a nice frame. So yeah, you can't really find these online unless you get reproductions or unless you source them from someone who worked at Best Buy. The display cabinet, I don't think has seen a ton of change. It looks basically the exact same just because it's a pain in the ass to get in here. Same with above and around the display cabinet. I do have a new 360 that was modded by my buddy A Wise Moose. Shout out Jake. And the rest of this is pretty much the exact same as you've seen before. My ROG Ally, my Retron 5, my Wii U, my PS3, PS5 over there, Xbox One, which hasn't been plugged in God knows how long. Still got the cool-ass Wii U tower. Absolutely love this thing. It's a beast. So yeah, before we move on to the game shelves, which are probably the most expensive parts of the collection, you'll notice I don't have a lot of the old home consoles out anymore, and reason being, with the exception of like the NES and Genesis and stuff over there, I don't really feel like I need to keep them hooked up. Like the Retron 5 has been modded so it actually can play Super Nintendo and Famicom competently enough. My Wii U's been modded so it plays Wii and GameCube games. The PS3 plays all generations up until PS3. The PS5 obviously is backwards compatible until 2028 when Sony tells us all to fucking kill ourselves. And like stuff like the N64, I don't really have a reason to hook that up all the time. If I need to hook it up to record specific gameplay or something, I'll plug it in for that and then unhook it when I'm done. All of my home consoles are safe, by the way. I have not thrown any of them out or sold any of them. A couple duplicate ones I've given away to friends or family, but I'm a bit of a hoarder when it comes to video game collecting. I don't downsize in the traditional sense, so don't worry about any of that. So starting on the top, we have a couple of those little tabletop arcade machines, little PlayStation thing, and then we get to the handheld consoles. We got the 3DS, we got a couple of modded Game Boys, an original DMG. This is pretty cool. This is a test sample prototype of Thrillville Off the Rails for the PlayStation Portable. This has not been dumped yet, so this is incredibly rare. I do plan on dumping it, don't worry, I'm not a gatekeeper, but I want to make a video about it first before I release the files publicly. Game Gear, Game Boy Advance SP, got more handhelds up there, PSP Go, GBA, PS Vita, couple of extra controllers, and then my DS and 3DS games, most of them. I've had to take a couple out because I'm out of space. And then we move on to PlayStation. This is what Sony hates that I own. I believe the last time I made a video showing off my collection, they were sort of like sorted, so that way one side went down and then the other side went down. I kind of stitched them together, that way they go straight across like a proper library. So PS5, PS4, PS3, Nintendo Switch here, and then continued down here. My 2 physical Switch 2 games, PS Vita, my few physical Virtual Boy games. Most of them are in repro boxes because Virtual Boy games are hard enough to find as is, let alone complete in box. Physical Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, all mixed in here just because I think it's easier. They're all the same size. Got 1 Super Famicom game, as well as a couple physical NES games, all in here. The Scott the Woz Mysterious Game of Crypticism. I've got both the NES and Super Nintendo one. I also have the Genesis one elsewhere as well. A couple complete in box N64 games. The Game & Watch released for the Mario anniversary. I got a ton of GameCube and PS2 games because this was my childhood right here. The GameCube not as much, but I meant more so the generation that it was released. Got a very hilariously small number of PSP games. I need to collect more of those. Wii, which I think is my second biggest collection down here. I got a ton of Wii games. And then some Xbox 360 all the way down here. Xbox One, I think I might have a series game mixed in here. I have this really fucking weird one where it's a 360 game, but in the Xbox One packaging, which is really funny. Couple PC games, and then my single Sega Saturn game, which is Sonic Jam. Do I own a Sega Saturn? Absolutely not. And I figured we'll quickly talk about the gaming PC area too. I apologize that it's a mess. It's literally my workstation. This is where I do all of my editing, and when I work from home for my day job, this is where I do that as well. This is a Skytech Aqua over here. I used to build my computers back before the price of electronics went through the fucking roof, so now it makes no sense, and you might as well get a pre-built if you can get one at a decent price. I bought pretty much this entire setup, thankfully, about 6 months before the RAM crisis, so I got very lucky there. And that's basically it. Like I said, if I glossed over anything that you guys want me to talk about or that you want specific information on, I will be more than happy to make a follow-up video to this. This is just a general overview, just showing off how my game collection has progressed over the last couple of years, because it has been a while since I've made a video like this. So let me know what you guys think, and if you want me to do this more regularly, if I do expand or whatever, please let me know. But this has been Dan Rock. Peace out, take care, see you guys next time.